Hello. Hello, hello. Testing for audio. Testing. Okay. If the music is too loud or too quiet, just let me know. It's gonna be a little bit louder than normal since I'm the only one here. First drawing stream. Also, I set up my little rabbit guy to raise his hand whenever I raise my hand, instead of having to press a button. Yay! Welcome to the stream. I draw. I don't know if you guys knew that. I drew my own VTuber avatar. I made him myself. He's my little guy. I didn't pay anyone to make it. It's also why it's a little bit janky, but don't worry about that. I'm drawing today. I am open to drawing suggestions in the chat. So if you guys want me to draw something in particular, I will draw that. But for now, I'm just gonna doodle. Let me just send a quick message. Okay. Again, welcome to the stream. I'm really excited for this stream, and I'm extremely nervous because the first time I did a solo stream, I had done the first half with my friend, when my friend was slightly ill and had to leave halfway through, and I played the murder of Sonic the Hedgehog. Today we're not playing the murder of Sonic the Hedgehog. We are drawing. I do a lot of digital art on my own time. For my classes, I like to do traditional art just because it's easier to turn in. But digital art is really fun. And I feel like it suits my style a lot more than traditional art. It's also a whole lot easier to fix your mistakes. Oh my god. What are your guys' favorite mediums? Besides digital art, I do a lot of painting, a lot of pencil drawings, like portraits. I do a little bit of watercolor, but not anything too detailed, like those people who take little mini watercolor painting kits with them whenever they go traveling and they do these amazing artworks. I could never. I just use it to make cool splatter effects. So yeah. You know, I'm going to draw a character of mine called Euphoria. He is a D&D character that I made that I have never actually gotten to play because we never ended up having a session because that was around quarantine and I was quarantined and could not hang out with my friends. So instead, I just obsessively drew this D&D character that I was never able to use over and over and over again, and came up with an entire story for him and a backstory. So let me tell you about him. His name is Euphoria. He is a tiefling warlock, and in case you don't know, a tiefling is part demon. They have demon ancestry in their blood. So, the way that shows up for him are these goat ears, a pair of goat legs, and some giant moose antlers. He's a combination of a few hooved animals, but he's humanoid mostly from the torso up. He's pretty cool. He is a warlock in training. So he's not a professional yet. He's going to school to learn magic as a warlock. So he doesn't yet have a patron. A patron is the magical deity that supplies the warlock with power in return for worship or some other kind of payment. Euphoria has a very interesting relationship with the patron that he ends up finding. His patron is called Azazel. Azazel is a celestial being, a fallen angel, if you will. And Euphoria found him having fallen in a crater, and Euphoria decided to try to help him. Azazel fell and was cast down because he fell in love with humanity and people. And the other Celestials were not too happy about that. So they cast him down and stripped him of his power and poured molten gold on top of his head. Very fun. And Euphoria finds him like that and decides to try to help him. And the way that he helps him is by becoming his warlock. So now Azazel is a patron, and slowly over time, through that bond, Azazel is able to regain the powers that were stripped of him by the other angels. And in return, Euphoria also becomes stronger and is able to use more and more magic in his spells, and they go on adventures, and they find therapy in each other, pretty much. There's a whole lot more to his story, but I won't talk about him too much. But I like him a lot. I draw him a lot. And let's see. His name, Euphoria, means a lot to me because it's the opposite of what I struggle with. It's the opposite. So the word holds a lot of meaning for me. It's something that I strive for. And someday I want to get a tattoo of the word Euphoria. Once the show becomes a little less popular. And also just to honor my son, who I love very much. This boy. He's my son. He's beautiful. What else do I talk about? I don't know how to do a solo stream. This is very difficult. Hopefully my friends decide to watch the stream and hang out with me in the chat. If you guys missed my past solo stream, I post all of the VODs on my YouTube channel, which you can find over there, bottom left corner, my username. All of the VODs are posted there the following Monday at 4 p.m. Central Time. So if you miss any stream, you can watch them there. This will be my, I think, 6th stream, which is very exciting. That means I've been streaming for 6 weeks. Super cool. It's really fun to stream, and it's very fun, especially to stream with my friends. But maybe sometimes I just wanna relax a bit. Have a solo stream. Just chill. Let's see, what did I do today? I went and I watched the Five Nights at Freddy's movie that came out. I watched it with my friends. I won't spoil anything, but it wasn't too bad. It wasn't top tier quality, but it was very fun to watch. A very fun experience. And I don't regret going. And it was especially fun to watch with my friends. So if you guys want to go watch it, I recommend going with people you know, people you have fun with. It was super cool. Not too bad. I'm very sad that Markiplier wasn't able to guest star in it. Some other people were able to. I won't say who if you don't know already, but be prepared for that. Markiplier talked about it on his own channel, so I won't talk about that much either. What movies are you guys watching? I haven't even seen the Barbie movie yet. I've heard it's good. Heard good things about it. Let's make this a little smaller. I guess I have to talk about art. I have a drawing for a while, but I've only been seriously trying to work on my drawing since about 4th grade. I think that's when I actually started to consider my art a skill, and something that I wanted to practice and improve. And since then, I've been doing all sorts of art, and I've been posting my drawings in various places and abandoning those various places. I used to post my art on an app called Amino, which I think is not incredibly active anymore. I have not been on in a while. But before, after, between that, I post on DeviantArt. I do have a current account on DeviantArt that I consider to be my active one, but I don't post regularly. Generally, I just post my best pieces from the past few months, every few months. But you can find me on there. I think you can find me at the same username that I have on everything, Danny Chai. And you can see some of my other art there. I don't do art professionally. Not yet, at least, but I hope to. One of my possible dreams is to be an art history professor, which will take a long time and a lot of dedication, but I love talking about art and its history. I'm not particularly fond of history class. like wars and all of that. It's not something that I feel like I would want to teach. But art history is something that I'm passionate about. Whenever I learn something art history related, I go and I talk to my mom about it for hours and I ramble, and it's so cool to me, the different eras of art and how things have changed, and I think I could ramble about that and earn a couple bucks. I don't think I could teach high schoolers though, or elementary students. I'd prefer to teach at a college, but we'll see what happens. Wish me luck. So this sketch is pretty much done. This is Euphoria. He is very dear to me. That pun was not on purpose, by the way. So here he is. Euphoria. As I said, he is a tiefling warlock. And I like him a lot. He's very neat. I'm going to start a full body drawing of him. I feel like I draw both incredibly slowly and incredibly quickly. I'm able to sketch very fast, but when it comes to a fully finished piece with line art and color, all that, it takes me a very long time. On average, probably 4 to 6 hours. And I generally do that all in one sitting because I forget to take breaks. A reminder to take breaks, drink water, have a snack, take a nap, take your medicine, all that. And remember to get up and stretch every 20 or 30 minutes or so, especially if you've been sitting looking at screens for a while. It makes a big difference. Euphoria, at the start of his story, as I said, goes to a sort of university to try to discover how to be a warlock, to learn basic magic, and how to adventure on his own and discover himself and find a patron, and everything changes when he finds a patron all on his own, out in the wild, laying in a hole. Good for him. This doesn't look great. Let me just erase this part. What else should I talk about? Thank you. This looks better. Let's see. I'll talk about some of my inspirations for art. As I said, I do a lot of digital art, so a lot of the stuff that I consume to improve my art are other digital artists. These include YouTubers and other streamers and artists who post their stuff on Pinterest especially, that kind of thing. There's some really good art YouTubers out there for people who want tutorials or just artists who post their stuff online to share. One of my biggest inspirations is the Joffy Show on YouTube and Twitch, and they're super cool. They post fun art videos all the time, and they do things called draw class, where they stream and they teach a certain subject on art to help people practice better and draw scenery better and world building and all sorts of stuff. And they're a really great resource. I highly recommend them. They're very fun, so their tutorials aren't boring in the slightest. They're a bit lengthy though, since there are streams, but they post the VODs on YouTube as well. Who else? Lavender Town. Very nice artist, very sweet. Also posts fun videos as well as tutorials. I don't tend to follow artists just for their tutorials. I try to follow them for their actual content, and I kind of just seek inspiration from that rather than an actual how-to video. I feel like that's a lot more fluid and natural and gives me a lot better information. There's also Casey Golden. I started watching her around the same time that I started watching Lavender Town. So I kind of connect the two in my head. Casey Golden is more of a traditional artist. She specializes in watercolor and gouache and stuff like that, but lately she's been doing more digital art, and she's very fun and quirky and in the best sense of the word, and entertaining and goofy. She doesn't do any tutorials as far as I know, but she plays around with a lot of different mediums and talks a lot about different stuff, and she does a more cartoony style. Lavender Town does as well, but Casey Golden kind of leans towards a children's book style, if you guys are interested in something like that. She's also just very entertaining to watch in general. I think I need to make this a bit smaller. And move this up. Alright. Typically, I use a lot of references in my art, especially for poses and stuff like that. But especially for my own characters, I try not to use too many references. Well, I don't try not to. I just typically crank it out of my own brain and hope for the best. And I think it turns out okay. I usually use Pinterest for my references. It's a very wonderful resource for models and other artist drawings and color palettes and photography to use as inspiration, especially for scenery and all sorts of stuff. It's a very great resource, and I collect um, a lot of the references I use and want to use in the future. So if you ever find me on Pinterest, you are welcome to use my account as a reference board for your art. These proportions are all wrong. There we go. Also, I post some of my own art on there too. Occasionally, mainly of my OCs, just to keep it all in one spot. Especially since I draw them on my phone and on my computer and on past computers and past phones. So I try to keep it all in one easily accessible spot. Alright. This year, in my art class, for the entire year, all of my art class projects are actually focused on euphoria. So every month or so, we are assigned a new medium and we have to create an artwork of that character in that medium. I've already done, let's see, a base drawing in my favorite medium, or one of my favorites, which is just marker and pen. A full body drawing. Thank you for the follow. A full body drawing to base future artworks off of, so that I have a consistent reference. My second project was colored pencil, which I also use frequently, but takes a long time. But it was pretty fun. It was an action pose artwork, so our character had to be in motion or doing something in some way. So I did a fighting pose, and it was very fun to draw my character kind of angry for the first time, because usually he's very chill and relaxed and isn't angry all the time. But he is very protective. So I was able to draw him protecting something or someone. It's not clear in the drawing. And for my third project, which I'm working on, I think I just finished on Friday. It is a oil pastel drawing, which I also enjoy. And it is a close-up of Euphoria's face. And I actually think that one came out really well. I often struggle with oil pastels even if I like them, because they often come out messy. But this one I did really big and very close up, and I didn't try to get bogged down with the details, and I think it came out the best. I don't know what mediums I'll be doing in the future for these projects. We will see. In the first semester, I'm only doing 2D mediums, and in the second semester I'll be doing 3D mediums. So, I'm excited to see where that goes. I like playing around with stuff. It's in different mediums. It's difficult to let myself do that on my own. I struggle with completing projects on my own with no deadline and forcing myself out of my comfort zone and that kind of thing. But with art classes, I have so much fun just having some kind of guidance, and it lets me kind of do as much as I can with the limitations given, and I end up finishing things very quickly and have lots of fun doing it. So I like the structure I like the structure of art classes. I don't feel like I'm restricted in any way. I feel like it helps me get out of that comfort zone and try new things. There we go. Now his arms. I never know what pose to do his arms because he's always facing kind of this way because of his legs. I want them to be clear what shape they are. Well, first let's fix his head and neck. He looks a little slouched. There we go, that's better. Oh, I forgot to show this off. Besides hand movement and all of this, I also added some facial expressions that I made when I made this character a few months ago. I added some little expressions and details, and I never actually added them to my character movement until today, just before the stream, about 5 minutes before. So let's make sure they still work. What were they? There's this one. Angry. So angry. Got a little angry vein and angry between the eyes. I've also got this one. Little hearts. Whoops, that's a keybind on my drawing program. And I've got, what was the other one? Ah, this one. Whoopsies. Also a keybind. So yeah, 3 little expressions that I added. Just some shines and some hearts. And a little angry expression. So I will probably have to change those keybinds to not mess up my drawing program or any games. But yeah, that's what those look like. Super exciting. And again, the hand, which has a little movement in between frames, which is super cool. Super proud of that. Like I said, I made this model myself. I'm really proud of it. I hope to either improve this model or make a new one sometime in the future, but at the moment I'm unable to because I actually used the free trial of the model program, which was, I think, Cubism. It might have been 3D Cubism, 2D Cubism, something along those lines. And I used the free trial to make my little VTuber here. And I actually only used 5 out of the 30 days to make this guy. It took, I would get up and I would get my breakfast and I would start working on it as I ate, and I would keep working and I would get my lunch and bring it in here, and I would get my dinner and bring it in here. And it was a lot of research and studying and retrying and starting over, but it was actually really fun. I never got too frustrated because it was really fun to just like create something and every day to see the progress that I had made. Because every day I had done something new to make my character come to life even more. I think somewhere I still have the recordings that I did at the end of every day to show off how my character had evolved and changed and become what it is today. And that was really fun. Sometime I might find those recordings and show them off and show off the process of making this character, because I do have some records of it. I have screenshots and recordings and sketches and that kind of thing. This character I came up with a while ago. His name is simply Bunny Boy. And he was just a little OC of mine that was really simple and easy to draw, and I liked doodling him. And so I doodled him a lot, and he became familiar to me. So I decided that that's what I would make my VTuber model as. Just something simple and cute to have instead of my own face. And it was worth it. I'm glad that I chose this guy. I'm glad that I didn't choose something more complicated. I also didn't use too many references of other VTubers. When I was making this model, I kind of made him all on my own because most of the animal VTubers I saw were a lot more anthropomorphic along furry lines. This guy, I think, he has somewhat human proportions, but he's mostly just an animal. But I didn't see many VTubers who had that sort of combination as their models, and when they did, they were very basic, closer to PNG tubers than a VTuber, which my friend is, by the way, who's usually on this side right here. Sun. I made for her a PNG tuber. Actually, she drew it herself, and hint hint, she might be changing it next stream, so keep an eye out for that. New little guy will be right here. So she drew it, but I put it together for her and connected it to her audio and everything. But yeah, I didn't see many avatars that were similar to what I wanted to do, so I kind of just had to wing it. I didn't know how I was gonna rig the bunny ears, so I didn't know how to make them move like this. And you see they wiggle, which I'm very proud of. Even the earrings wiggle a little bit separately from the ear. His head can go all the way back, all the way forward, side to side, this way, this way. So he has a pretty good range of movement, even when he's just sitting. That's another thing, the pose. I didn't see many VTubers who had this kind of pose that I wanted, and I was very surprised. A lot of them were just kind of head and shoulders, just kind of standing there, and they either, if they were full body, they were just standing straight looking at the camera. There weren't many sitting down ones, not that I could find. I didn't go and hunt Twitch, I kind of just looked on Google, but I just had to wing it. So I'm super proud of how he came out. If anyone has any questions about my VTuber model, I recommend looking at my frequently asked questions in my bio in my Twitch channel. I say some things in there about him and what kind of tools I used and more information. So check that out. Maybe in the future, if I ever subscribe to, that's what it's called, Live 2D Cubism. That's what it's called. If I ever subscribe to that and actually don't have to use the free trial anymore, maybe sometime in the future I can do VTuber model commissions in this same sort of style, because it was really fun to make. I really liked it. Anyway, for those of you who might be new and watching, currently I'm drawing a character of mine called Euphoria, and he's an unused D&D character of mine that I drew a lot and became obsessed with, and he's very near and dear to my heart. By the way, if you're watching this VOD in the future, thank you very much. Please consider checking me out on Twitch to see me live. And if you're watching this live, please consider checking out my YouTube to watch the VODs. I post them the following Monday, 4 p.m. Central Time. But I won't advertise that too much. Alright. I think that sketch is done. Let's see. What else do I want to draw? Let's just start doodling. I'll draw something else that I love drawing, which are cities. Cities I actually find pretty easy to draw because there's just a lot of straight lines. I know that a lot of people find it difficult though because of how odd it can look if you don't get the shapes exactly right. But over time I've kind of learned to eyeball things if they don't look exactly how I want them to, and to adjust things and take artistic liberties, and it makes it really fun to draw cities. Typically I just do 1-point perspective, but I've done I think a couple 2-point perspectives before, and they're kind of relaxing for me to do because it's repetitive. With the whole eyeballing thing, I kind of take inspiration from Studio Ghibli and other similar styles who, hey bestie, thank you for joining my chat. I miss you and I'm excited for next week's stream. As I was saying, I'm kind of inspired by those styles because they aren't exact and they're very rough, but they feel homely because of that. It doesn't feel rigid or strict, and so it feels more natural and fluid, and so I try not to adhere too much to my guidelines when I'm doing drawings of cities, but I try to a little bit to not make it look abstract or goofy. Also, in case you don't know, there is a 15-second delay on my stream. Next, I think I've adjusted the settings so that next stream there will only be a 10-second delay. So it won't be too bad now that I'm a little more comfortable streaming and I know what I'm doing and can do things fast enough that I don't need so much leeway in case something goes wrong. But there will always be a slight delay just to give myself a chance to shut down the stream if I have to, that kind of thing. Don't worry, you did not miss my stream, bestie. I still have an hour and 20 minutes. I will still be streaming until 9, just like normal. Hopefully in the future I'll be able to do longer solo streams, art streams and stuff like that, so I can actually get full pieces done and not just a bunch of sketches. But since I take so long to draw and I'm still not used to streaming very much and I had a long day, for now it'll just be 2 hours. Which, when I started streaming, I thought 2 hours was a long time, but I very quickly found out that that is actually one of the shorter times that people stream for. Also, most people stream more than once a week, but I have a lot going on. Hopefully in the future, once things have settled down, I'll be able to stream more often, but in the meantime, it's not a priority. I'm not trying to make money or anything off of streaming. It's just something that I want to do for fun, especially when I'm streaming with friends, because that makes extra fun, and it's just, you know, I realized one day that when I was playing games with my friends that were actually a little bit entertaining. So I figured, even if I am very anxious, that maybe I should just record it. Maybe I should just post it turn into something for others to enjoy as well. And I'm glad that I did, because it's a way to step out of my comfort zone, and a lot of the stuff that I do with art and writing and things like that, I don't do them for myself all that much. I do it for my future and for people around me, and that kind of thing. But streaming is just, it's something that I can explore on my own terms, and I'm not trying to depend on it to live and that kind of thing. So it's just purely for fun, a pure hobby, which I haven't really had before. You're welcome. Um, I'll try not to take too long on just this one drawing, but drawing scenery does take a little bit. What else can I talk about? If you want to give me suggestions, son, to talk about, I will definitely talk about it. I've already mentioned that we went and saw the Five Nights at Freddy's movie earlier today, and I didn't want to spoil it, but I did say that it was a fun experience. Um, let's see. Like I said, drawing cities is really, it's kind of relaxing. It's it's just a lot of squares mostly. It's like it reminds me of, what is it? Mandala? With all the patterns and the circles and the flowers and that sort of thing. Um but I think drawing squares and lines is relaxing. What did I think about the actual movie? A lot of critics trashed it. Did you think it was fun or accurate? Um, I'm not very deep in the Five Nights at Freddy's lore, so I can't tell you how accurate it is. Our other friend Charlie said that there were some differences, such as the characters' roles. Some of the characters had different roles than they actually have in the game lore, which I didn't mind because, as I said, I'm not too deep in the lore, and I don't think it was too different. I don't know. Some diehards might complain about it, but um, I think it was more fun than anything. It wasn't bad. It didn't seem too cheesy or anything. Um, it was mostly just a fun experience, made even more fun by watching it with my friends and being able to laugh and joke about it. And it was kind of goofy because it's, you know, a game that's kind of turned into a little bit of a meme. And so seeing it taken so seriously with the same audio and imagery and everything was really fun and interesting. But I had a lot of fun, and I'm glad I watched it. And I'm glad that I don't feel like complaining about the movie because I don't think there's anything to really complain about. Like I said, I'm sad that Markiplier wasn't able to guest in it because he planned on it, but that's okay. It was still pretty good. Hmm. What else have I been doing recently? As I said, if the audio is needs adjusting in any way, like the music or my volume, um, please tell me and I will adjust it. If the music is too quiet or too loud, or if my voice is too quiet or too loud, I will adjust it as needed. What did I think about the Bite of 87? Actually, okay, I won't spoil it, but keep an eye out for some chompers if you haven't seen the movie yet. It's pretty cool. May or may not have actually been an 87 though. I feel like a news reporter is like holding up a microphone to me and being like, "What did you think about the bite of 87?" It was very good. Very good bite. Audio sounds great. Thank you. Just let me know if that changes suddenly. Let me do something new. Let's do a circle. Or an archway. That looks good. Like I said, I kind of just eyeball it. Especially for round corners, because there's ways to get them perfectly mathematically right. I just don't have the patience for that. So I just do what looks right. Dome. You're an official interviewer. Thank you. Thank you for commenting on the dome. This needs to be straighter. And I'll shade this a little bit to show that it is the inside of the archway. And I'll turn it into a sign. A little park sign. That's definitely accurate. Perfect. And I'll give it some little swirls. A little fence. Well, let's see, where would the fence be? That seems pretty big. Ooh, it's hard to do a straight line. I'll just use that. Alright. Fence would be about there. Make it barbed wire. And cut it off about there. Alright, and I'll put some trees. Maybe I'll put one right here. I feel like Bob Ross. Happy little tree. Right here, right up against the fence. And I'll have him peeking over the edge. And now, once we covered up this whole section, we don't have to worry about drawing it. There we go. Hacks. Just cover it up with a tree. I'm the new Bob Ross. Thank you. I think he has a son who might have taken over his stuff a little bit. But I might be wrong. Thank you. Let's put in a little sandbox over here. And we'll put a little swing set. Alright. It's time for a new drawing. What should I draw? Bestie in chat. While I take a sip of my water. I'm back. I'm gonna draw a bunch of circles. Give me some ideas. You're drawing us. Aw, thank you. That's okay. I'm going to draw some random blobs. Actually, I'm going to color some random blobs. And then I'll turn those into some drawings. I've done this a couple times before, and it's a very fun way to break art block and that kind of thing. But it's been a little while. Spider with multiple eyes. Okay, I'll do that after this. Or maybe I'll turn one of these into that. And then we'll squeeze a little one over. What color should we make it? Make it kind of yellow. Make a really long one right here. Okay. Make a brush smaller. Add a new layer. Thank you for the offer in chat, but I'm gonna have to sadly decline. And thank you for the first time chat. But I think I'm okay right now. I'm not looking to pay anybody for anything for my streams right now. Not even a mod. I do have a moderator though. But thank you for the offer. I'll have to politely decline. Alright. This guy right here. He looks like a moose to me. Let's start with the nose. And then we'll put the eyes up here. He has a very blank stare. Can I mod you? Yeah, I'll do that. Give me just a second. Anyway, as I was saying, moose meese. When I draw animals, it looks kind of goofy, but they're fun anyway. Alright, this one looks like a plague doctor mask to me. So I'm gonna draw a cute little plague doctor, kind of blushing, and just generally looking goofy, because I think plague doctor masks look a little goofy. Especially, I don't know if you guys have seen these videos, but especially when people wear them, but they don't have any breathing holes, and so they put it on, and they breathe in, and it just like flattens, and it just turns into like a flat blade on their face, and it's really goofy looking. So I think they look really goofy. Alright, I forgot they had goggles. This guy would be kinda goofy looking. And got the strap back here, and then that. Alright. That one's done. What else? This one looks like a hot dog for sure. A hot dog in a bun. I haven't had a hot dog in years. I'll be honest. I miss hot dogs. I don't eat a lot of actual meat anymore. I'm not vegan, but we've been trying to eat less meat because we were eating it kind of like every day. Wasn't that great. So I've been eating more fake meat and that kind of thing, which is actually really good. My favorite thing ever now are black bean burgers, which are so good. I'm not joking. I'm sorry. I haven't had a hot dog in a while. My dad occasionally makes like a sausage on a pita bread with sauerkraut, that kind of thing. But I haven't had an actual hot dog in a long time. I really just want a hot dog. I want to go to I want to go to the big cities. I want to go to the big cities and try these things in their homeland. I want to try the chili dog and the New York pizza and all that stuff. I want to try it in their homelands and just see how different it is. Their home cities. Hey, now I'm hungry. All I had was popcorn and tuna fish today. What does this one look like? This one. What do I turn this guy into? It kind of looks like... I don't know if this is cheating, but it kind of reminds me of that one Pokemon that's got like... It's like a bat, and it's got that heart-shaped nose. It looks like this. It's got those like big old ears. What is it called? Woobat? Yeah. That's what this guy is. Yeah, little wings. Okay. I promised I would turn one of these into a spider with a bunch of eyes. So let's turn this guy into a spider. It looks like a fat grub worm. Wait, you're right. It's like just sitting here, and it's got the the stripes, and it's like it just looks like this. Yeah. Has his little arms. Oh, he's so cute. I'll turn this into the spider. Just a little guy. The lazy egg face. Oh, I love the lazy egg. I still have that keychain of him somewhere. I might have to put him back on my bag. He's so cute. What did we name him? What did we name him? It was something that sounded like egg. Or sounded similar to egg. Your son! Yes! Our son that we have shared custody of. He's very cute. Is this a spider? Do they have anything else? I think this is a spider. Alright. Let's do another drawing. You stole him. Yes. We would take him home every so often to each other's houses. Wait, wasn't that during quarantine? For the first couple weeks of quarantine, you had our son. And I got him back, like, after that summer or after quarantine in general. It took a while, though. And you fed him very well. That lazy egg. Let me quickly draw for you guys what my son, what that egg boy looked like. He had his little feet, and he just kind of like sat there, looking all sad. You doused him in Lysol? I didn't know that. I don't think I knew that. This is my son. Lazy egg. And then, let me see. duplicate. Flip this. I'll erase this part. If you looked at him from the back, this is his little leg over here. If you looked at him from the back, he had some little butt cheeks. It was really cute. And slightly disturbing, but I loved him. Open mouth. Was he open mouth? I don't remember. He's in my closet somewhere. A dumpy. Oh yeah, he did. My little son. There he is. Alright, I'll get rid of this. What do I want to draw? We have about 50 minutes left. Maybe I'll do a little bit more of a full drawing. Maybe not like of my usual drawings, but I want to do some color. I want to do some coloring. This boy is another one of mine. Speaking of eggs, I actually made this guy when I was watching my dad play Subnautica. I don't know if you guys have played it or heard of it. Probably. It's pretty popular. I think a couple years ago. But it was this very visually interesting game of being underwater and having an underwater base and a submarine, because your ship crash landed in the ocean and you had to survive off of all these sea creatures, and you got to see bigger and cooler sea creatures the longer the story went on. And I was so like in awe by all these creatures, and I loved them, and I did a lot of drawings of them. And among those drawings was one that I drew myself, not based on one of the actual creatures, but my own little sea creature guy, and his name is Edgar. If you want to know why he's called Edgar, it's because it sounds like egghead.
Beautiful.
And this boy is an egghead. No, he's not from Subnautica, but I drew him while I was watching my dad play Subnautica, which is why he's kind of inspired by a deep sea fish, especially his tail, which I will quickly draw in just a second. So he's not from Subnautica, but kind of Subnautica inspired a little bit. Definitely not in the style of Subnautica, but no, I promise I did not steal any character designs and claim them as my OCs. That doesn't look great. There we go. He's just... You need me to send you a picture of Bunny Boy. He's just white. Just draw him white with some pink ears. It's not anything specific. He's just a white rabbit.
Beautiful.
Are you drawing our VTube Sonas? I did tell them that your VTuber model might be changed in the next stream. If you need the colors, take a screenshot of the stream. I can't send you a picture right now, I'm streaming. Yeah, new PNG tuber model for my friend here, who, if you're watching the VOD, you won't be able to see the chat, but Sun, my co-host, her PNG tuber model will be different next stream, and I'm super excited. I haven't stared at it a whole lot, so I'm excited to see it every Saturday, 7 to 9 p.m. Central Time. And I'm super excited. We just make our PNG tuber models ourselves. Sun draws the room, and I turn them into a model that reacts to her voice, and whenever she talks, it's connected to Discord. Super cool. You're so smart, thank you for telling you to take a screenshot. Yeah, let me talk a little bit about Edgar, since I talked about Euphoria. Edgar has a little more of a tragic backstory. He was created in a lab. Obviously, he is not a natural organism. He is a mixture of a couple sea creatures, humanoid, obviously, and also a slight bit of alien DNA, which the scientists that created him were experimenting with traces of DNA that they found on a crashed asteroid. They took in samples and they decided to start experimenting and seeing what they could create with that DNA. And from that, among other things, Edgar was born. His human DNA comes into play mostly for his torso and his arms. He's sort of like Euphoria. He's merman-esque. Torso is kind of human. Let me actually do a quick little full body sketch just to show you guys what I mean, but I won't be coloring this sketch. So his head is what comes from the alien part. The aliens all had wonky shaped heads and incredible horns that they took great pride in. I haven't actually drawn the original aliens all that much. Mostly just Edgar himself. I think I drew the other aliens maybe once. I don't know, but that's where the heads come from. His body, as I said, is pretty human. Apart from the gills, he has 3 different sets of gills. Because since he's so large, he needs a lot of oxygen, but he's not a mammal, so he doesn't breathe by coming out of the water like whales and dolphins do. He still breathes in the water, which means he needs a lot of gill power, so he has lots of gills. His arms are pretty human. And then his tail. He's got a big old tail. And it's strong to help him swim. When I make my OCs, most of them are not human. Half of them, I think, aren't human. And so I try to do a lot of research to make my OCs plausible in how they would interact with the environment. For example, Edgar has a massive tail, because at that size he would need a lot of muscle to be able to swim around as easily as a fish would. And he has gills, like I said. he has 3 sets of gills. One on his sides, one on the sides of the tail, and one on the sides of his neck. He has a ridged spine. Sorry. And fins down here because one of the fish DNA sources in his blood is shark. Another source is catfish, which is why he has these and these. These I think come from the alien DNA. This is like the fin at the end of his tail, and these are kind of seaweed looking things to help him blend in. And he has webbing, which I also think mer people would plausibly have to help them swim through the water better. Because if you look at a fish, let me just draw a quick fish. They've got all these fins. They've got all these fins and webbing that helps them kind of glide through the water. And then when you look at a human, they don't have any of that. And when people make mer people, they kind of just take off the legs and make a tiny little tail and call that a mer person. I don't think that would be plausible. So I make the tails huge, and I give them webbing and all these fins and stuff like that to help them swim faster. And then with Euphoria, he's got these big old legs to help support his body, and he's got this big old tail that's kind of based on a kangaroo tail to help with balance because he leans back so much because of these legs that are so odd. And his horns are actually kind of based on bird bones because they're not heavy. They're hollow, but they're still strong. They're just hollow. So his shoulders are still a lot stronger than a human because it's still extra weight. It's just not as much as you would think. But the tail helps with balance. The hooves are big and low set, which means that his back kind of has terrible posture, but oh well. I feel like that's the most plausible version of that creature. So yeah, this is the full body sketch, and back to this. So, Edgar, like I was saying, was made in a lab. He was made alongside various other creatures that he made friends with, and eventually, he escaped. He escaped the lab. He was rescued by people who, government official type people like the FBI. He's broken out by FBI adjacent organization that shut down the whole DNA testing operation and saved him. And sadly, the majority of the other experiments, his friends, did not survive, in part because they were not quite as, not sentient, but not quite as human in the way of thinking as Edgar was. So it was easier for him to escape and survive everything and just make it out alive. Eventually, after he makes it out, he sticks with the few of his friends that did survive as well, and eventually he actually finds his sister, who was created also in the lab, but was released before Edgar knew her, or at least could remember her very well. So he's also not an angry person, just like Euphoria, but I think he does kind of hold a little bit of jealousy for his sister because she didn't have to suffer for her whole life like he did. She was able to escape and live a better life, but he doesn't hate her. he's still a good guy at heart. Anyway, he has an interesting color palette. This is his skin tone. Let me make a little color palette right here, actually. This is the color of his horns. The color of his blush. Shading color. Oh yeah. And the color of his eyes. And the shading color. Alright. New layer. Alright. His scar, I forgot. After they created him, they did testing on him. Which is where all these scars come from. The poor boy. This is honestly the most tragic of my OCs. I don't have a lot of OCs that have tragic backgrounds and that kind of thing, but so all of that was forced onto this guy. All of that tragic backstory. He's got it all. Anyway. Oh, I don't think I mentioned. I don't think I have these listed in my About Me. I have some of the devices that I use in my About Me on Twitch, but I don't know if I listed my drawing supplies. I use Krita. It is a free drawing program, and it comes with everything you see here. I didn't have to pay for any of this. It's an incredible art program. I think it's kind of based around Photoshop, so if you're used to Photoshop type stuff, this would be good for you, or if you want something that just kind of works like Photoshop but you don't want to pay the obnoxious prices or pay anything at all. Krita is really good. It's very professional looking. You're able to move all of this around and completely customize your entire workspace and resize things and adjust everything to your liking, and you don't have to have all of this stuff on here. You can remove it, change it, add new stuff. You can even do animation on Krita, which I don't use, but our friend in the chat, Charlie, does use it, and I think he says that it's pretty good. So if you're an animator, I would recommend looking into the animation part of Krita. I'm not sponsored, but I just love Krita. It's really cool. I'm not sure if it's Krita or Krita. I like saying Krita just because it sounds a bit smoother. Let's see. Also, the tablet that I use is Huion. I don't know exactly what tablet or even if they sell them anymore because I've had it for a little while now. But it is a Huion tablet, which I also recommend. It hasn't failed me once. It's pretty good. Everything else that I use, I think you can find in my Twitch bio. It's not anything fancy, it's just what I had on hand. What else? I'm hoping that also in the future I'll be able to do different background music for my streams, because right now all I have is lo-fi because it's very easy to get non-copyrighted lo-fi, or at least lo-fi that's very easy to credit for your streams. By the way, the source for my background music is also in my bio, so check that out for your own streams or just to listen to. They're all pretty good just to listen to in the background. But I'm hoping that someday I'll be able to find some better music, because lo-fi isn't my favorite genre. It's just kind of relaxing to have in the background. But I prefer metal and indie and rock. Even classical. I actually tried to get some classical music, but there's some weird copyright things to classical music, so I decided not to risk it. But if you guys have any recommendations for places to get good music for streams that aren't lo-fi or have other genres, please let me know, and I'll look into those. In the meantime, you're stuck with lo-fi. I generally have it very quiet during my streams, unless it's on a starting soon page or be right back page or something like that. I also just learned how to actually be able to hear my stream while I'm streaming, because before I had no idea what you guys were hearing. I still don't fully know because I don't want to listen to my own voice while I'm talking, so I don't hear my own voice, but I do hear the alerts, which I recently changed. And by the way, all of my alerts are changed, so now they run through Twitch instead of OBS. Actually, I think I used to have Streamlabs alerts, but now they all go through Twitch. They have some great preset stuff, which I just found. So I revamped everything, and hopefully sometime I'll be able to make my own GIFs and animations for the alerts. I just remembered my eyes move from side to side. I forgot it does eye tracking. Anyway, hopefully sometime I'll be able to do my own alert emails, but in the meantime, you guys will have to suffer with the basic ones. That's okay. They're not too bad. What was I saying? Oh yeah, all I can hear is the music and the alerts, so now I know what you guys are hearing in that regard. But I'll still need your guys' help with my audio and friends' audio and stuff like that. Today on the stream, I'm set a little bit louder than I normally do, just because I'm alone and I'm not going to be talking super loud, and I don't have anybody else with me to make me laugh really loud, so it's just me, just a little quiet. The longer I go, the easier it is to do a solo stream, which is what I was hoping for. It's not as daunting anymore, and it's kind of fun to just like ramble. I'm definitely losing my voice. I don't know how people stream for hours and hours. For example, one of the streamers that I watch, Ethan, Crank Gameplays. I don't know how often he streams anymore, but when he did stream, or when he streamed often, he would stream for like 4, 5, 6 hours, sometimes multiple times a day, and I don't know how they do it without losing their voices. It's incredible. I guess it's just something you have to get used to, because I don't talk a lot, especially outside of streaming. With my friends, yeah, but even then, even when I'm hanging out with my friends, I lose my voice. Maybe I'm just bad at talking. Gosh. Yeah, it's fun to just kind of doodle on stream. I'm hoping that my next solo drawing stream will be a little more focused. Maybe just one drawing for the whole stream, or a couple drawings for the whole stream, to show you guys my process a little bit better. Even though my process kind of changes every time. That's okay. It spices things up a little bit. But yeah, hopefully next solo stream will be a little more focused, and maybe sometime when I have a little bit more active streams, chat-wise and that kind of thing, I can take recommendations. Like I said, one of my biggest inspirations is the Drawfee Show, and they take a lot of art challenge recommendations and drawing requests and stuff like that, and I would love to do that kind of thing and take art requests and art prompts and that sort of thing maybe next stream, if I really want art requests and that kind of thing, I can find a random art prompt generator or something and do that. I think that would be cool. I'd have to set that up for next time though. So keep an eye out for that. What else is there? Let me add some more highlights. I don't typically color my sketches like this, but since this is a stream, I'm not worrying too much about making it refined. Color his eyes. Give him some highlights. Add a little bit of red. There we go, it's pretty much done. This is my son. His name is Edgar. Let me write his name out. Whoops. Edgar Milo. What's his full name? Edgar Milo. I love him. He's my boy. I don't know where the last name comes from. I don't remember if I looked up the meaning or anything like that, or if I just liked how it sounded, which is the most likely. But yeah, how's the last name? I used to write in little quotation marks Egghead. Edgar Egghead Milo, but it seemed a little repetitive. He's so cute. I love him. Thank you. I also love him. He's also very cute to me. I love him very much. Let's see. Maybe I can go back and color that one drawing of Euphoria. Which one do I want to color? I use this one. I'm actually gonna zoom in on him. Make it a little bit bigger because his horns are getting in the way and I want to focus on his beautiful face. Alright. Well, first let's do a little bit of erasing of these guidelines because I did a little bit excessive on the sketching. So I'll erase these before I do any coloring. Erase these so he doesn't look bald under his hair. Alright. That should be good enough. There we go. And I'll fix some of the lines. Kind of erased some a little bit. There we go. Oh, whoops, I didn't erase inside his eyes. Okay, now we can get to coloring. Let's see, his color palette. This is his skin tone. Oops, wrong layer. Skin tone. Shading. Eyes and hair. And shading. By the way, if you're shading, I recommend not combining your color with black. But, for example, his hair color, base color is right here. So what I do is I go a little bit towards the orange, and then I just go down, and over here is more saturated, down here is darker, so I go kind of towards both of that, little saturated, a little darker, and yeah, that's how I shade it. It makes it look a little bit more realistic, or at least, maybe not realistic, but more lively. So for his skin tone, I think it actually needs to be more like that. And then for the shading, I will go, should I go warmer or cooler? I guess cooler. I'll go a little bit towards the blue, and I'll go down here, and then that will be the shading tone. What other colors does he have? He has brown fur, so the brown's kind of like this. And for the shading, I'll go closer to the red, a little bit darker, and actually I'll go less saturated, and it'll look like that. And it just looks a little bit more lively. I don't know. You're so smart, thank you. One of the many tricks that I learned, I think, on Pinterest. Very helpful. I think that's his antlers. His antlers are sort of tan. So the shading, I'll go a little bit down and a little bit down, and I don't want them too dark. So it'll be about that. Alright, I need to add blush tone. So I'll go a little warmer, a little more saturated, and that'll be his blush tone. Alright. Actual coloring time. Base skin tone. Actually, I'm going to start with the shadow skin tone, and we'll build lighter from there. This is typically what I do when I'm painting. More than anything, I don't usually do this when I'm drawing digitally because I use multiply layers for shading. Unless the character's in a dark place, for example, then I'll do the full normal skin tone and then I'll cover the entire thing with shadow and then I'll just erase the shadow in certain areas to make it look lighter. You finished the thing. Send it to me. I'll look at it in 20 minutes after the stream. Alright. So... oh gosh, now I don't know how to do this since I went backwards. Let's just start with the highlights for now and worry about the blush in a little bit. So highlights will be like that. So the lighting will come from kind of over here. So this area will be in shadow. This area will be lighter. This area. That'll be lighter, but that'll be a different color because that's the eye. And then there'll be a little bit of a cast shadow under his chin, since the lighting's coming from a little bit above. But this will be lighter, and then this light will extend over here a little more. And that looks good, I think. The blush we'll put mostly in the light areas, but a little bit in the dark ones, because the blush wouldn't be super visible in the shadow. So I won't worry about it too much. Put some above his eyes, just for fun. Tip of the nose especially. Cheekbones. Adam's apple, collarbones. I put blush color everywhere. It's in DMs. Okay, thank you. I'll check it out soon. I'm super excited to see you. Let's do the eyes. So we can cover up that spot there. And we'll shade those over here since the light's coming from over here, like I said. And then let's also get a little highlight color and highlight right there. He doesn't have pupils. His eyes are solid gold. His character design it matches Azazel's, who I'll have to draw some other time because I don't have time. But Azazel, like I said, his powers are stripped of him, and I think I said they poured molten gold on top of his head as a way to limit himself and kind of brand him so that he knew where he came from and everyone else knew where he came from. And it was just a way to dehumanize him and make him blind because it covers his eyes. So in a way, Euphoria's design mirrors that, with the fact that his eyes are gold and his hair is gold, and so it kind of melts down like that. What emoji is that? Is that a crying robot? I can't tell. But yes, the story is also very sad. Euphoria doesn't have a tragic backstory, but Azazel definitely does. Let's have a little highlight color for his skin also. He keeps his skin hydrated. And I put this everywhere also. I feel like I'm doing a makeup tutorial. I don't even do makeup. Alright, there we go. Oh, that's nice. Alright, he's looking very alive. We'll take this color and we'll take it a bit more blue, a bit more desaturated, and we'll put a bit more blue. Put some here just to emphasize the cool shadows and add some extra texture where all these big blocks of shadow are. It also kind of looks a little bit like rim light, as if there was a cool light coming from over here, kind of. Just to provide a little bit more depth, and I really like doing it. I think it adds a cool effect. And put some on the eyes as well. Okay. We'll color in his eyebrows just a little bit. His eyebrows are brown, but his hair is blonde. Don't tell anyone. He bleaches his hair. He doesn't tell anyone though. And he assumes that nobody notices, even though his eyebrows are brown. But some blonde people do have brown eyebrows and brown eyelashes and that kind of thing. So this kind of thing isn't true for everyone. Definitely true for him though. His natural hair color is brown, and you can also tell because his legs and his ears also have brown fur, which I'm assuming is how it would work for satyrs and part animals, where their fur color would be their hair color, you know? You think that's how it works? How it would work? I don't know. Interesting thought. Whoops. Is it the highlight color? Yeah. Alright. Shading color. Shade this in a little bit, not worrying too much about it. Just trying to make it look fluid and natural. And we'll color in his earrings. Everything, and I'll worry about those after I do the fur. Everything is gold. He's a golden boy. And I love him very much. Alright, let's color in these again. These. Get the shading color, shade in this. Keeping in mind the light source. And then we'll go a little bit this way. We don't need to go all the way into the blue, but it'll still look like a cooler color even though we're actually in the hot pinks. But it'll look like a cool color just because we went towards the cool part of the wheel and we desaturate a little bit. That's a cool trick, by the way. If you go all the way to gray, this looks like a cool color. It looks cool. It looks like blue almost. Like if I put it up here in the shading, which I probably will, it again looks like what I did over here with the cool colors and it's the shadows, just because it's desaturated and it's a little bit toward the cooler part of the wheel. Because if you look at it like a like this kind of wheel, if you went from over here and you desaturated it, if you go closer towards the middle to desaturate it, that's still closer to the cool side of the wheel. You're still moving in the cool direction. So even if it doesn't have any cool colors in it, it's cooler than where it started. So kind of keep that in mind, especially if you don't use that type of wheel. I prefer to use this kind of wheel just because it's easiest for me. But again, if you move it towards the desaturated area, it looks cooler because it's closer to the cooler side of the wheel. It's another trick that I learned on Pinterest that I did not know about. Again, it won't be like as cool as a blue, for example. Like if I got a blue and I put it over here, obviously it's a more cool color. But if you're working with the limited color palette, for example, that's a way to get around it. Let's see, I only have 10 minutes left. So I'm not going to worry about spending too much hard work on this, but I will try to finish it up in these next 10 minutes. Time went by pretty quick. I wasn't expecting that. I was pretty nervous at the start of this stream, and you can probably tell from my voice. It's probably changed a bit over the course of the stream, just because I was a little nervous. But it's been really nice to just sit here and ramble while I draw. This was my first solo stream. Well, kind of. I did a half of a stream by myself because Sun here was sick and had to go rest. But this was my first completely solo stream and my first art stream and all of that, and it was really nice. So I'm hoping to do more of these in the future. I probably won't have a regularly scheduled time for them because the only scheduling that I could do on Twitch is every so-and-so weekday. For example, I stream every Saturday. So I have a stream set scheduled every Saturday. And that is all of the control I have. I can't set, for example, every other Saturday or once a month or a certain number of the month. I can't do any of that. It's just every whatever weekday. So that's why in my schedule my streams are called casual game or art stream, because it could be either. And I can't schedule the difference between those. So expect these whenever I feel like it, I guess. We'll see. We'll see when the next one will be. But next stream, I'm hoping we'll play Minecraft again, Sun and I, on our stream server. We'll see what happens. What ends up happening. But I'm excited for that. I'm really chill to listen to, a different vibe from when you're around. Thank you! I hope I'm chill to listen to. I get very subconscious about my voice. But yeah, when I'm around you, I'm very energetic and easily excited. Usually when I'm on my own, I'm just dead silent the entire day. So this is also a new version of myself. Woohoo! Exploring together. I'm gonna use this color again. Whoops, wrong layer. I'm gonna use this color again to shade the moose antlers, which I never really drew properly, not even on his full body drawing. But one of these streams I'll probably show off some of my art, so you guys will see some of his more official drawings, that sort of thing, and my other characters that I have that I'm excited to show you guys. And just to show off some of my art, because I'm really proud of it. I like my art, and I want to show it off to you guys and see what you think. See what you guys recommend. See what you want to see more of. I need to make this shadow a little cooler. There we go. And then I'll do some of these highlight colors on his hair as well. Because he has very shiny hair. He takes very good care of it. He takes great pride in his appearance. Even though he doesn't actually wear clothes. Not really. Like you saw in this sketch, he wears a kind of loincloth-esque thing, so that he's actually allowed to step inside of his university. But besides that, he doesn't wear much. 5 minutes left. Thank you for the warning. Yeah, I think I'm pretty much done with this. Let me just do a little bit more quick highlighting. And I'll go back and I'll save these individually later and maybe post them somewhere. We'll see. I don't know. Let me do a quick line art color since we're here. Oops. There we go. A little bit dark purple on the skin areas, and I'll make it a little bit of a darker purple where it's in shadow. Over here, and a little bit of a lighter purple over here in the light. And for his hair, I'll do a kind of like this kind of color. And I'll do one closer to this shadow color where it's in shadow. I like coloring the line art because it makes it pop a bit more and look a little less like a drawing and a little more like a real, like a true character, fleshed out and everything. I feel like it brings a little bit of depth to it too, because again, there's no, well, just like with the shading, there's no true black in real life, not really. So when you have a kind of pure black, it looks odd. So I try not to include pure blacks in my art at all, really, and make everything a more natural color. It just kind of brings it all together. This one will make almost black. This is still pretty light. There we go. Almost black, but not quite. And on the ears. And then we'll bring back this color for the jewelry. And for the eyes. Alright. I think he's done. Well, it's 8:58, which means it's almost 9 o'clock, which means it's pretty much time to go. Thank you guys for watching this stream. As I've said in the past, I stream every Saturday from 7 to 9 p.m. Central Time.